A Harmony of the Gospels for Students of the Life of Christ by A.T. Robertson, 4.12 The Circumcision of Jesus, Bethlehem, Luke 2:21. And when 8 days were fulfilled for circumcising him, see Genesis 17:12 and Leviticus 12:3, his name was called Jesus, which was so called by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And that sounds like he was 8 days old instead of it being the 8th day of life. So we have a contradiction there. And if we look into the history of it, one of the things that we see about the whole ritual genital mutilation thing that was mostly done to boys, but it was done to girls too, is that it seems to be later. There seems to have been a time when the ancient Israelites didn't practice it, and they returned to the Egyptian and other ways of this practice. Now, 1 out of every 7 to 10,000 boys and girls needs it for medical reasons upon birth. But that doesn't mean everybody should get it. Because trimming the foreskin or the clitoral hood, about 90% of the immune system, according to one paper I read, as far as the white blood cells are produced in that area. So if you're exposed to disease, your risk is higher. If there's a lack of cleanliness, again, the risk is higher. Oh, it's slightly quicker to clean up if you... No, that's just utter... Now, there were the myths about how people wouldn't enjoy themselves, and therefore they wouldn't be as wild if they did that. The female part of the male and the male part of the female, and of course it got exaggerated more commonly on the female side, the subincision and the root castration bit, as it's called. That was a more common myth. There were a couple areas where they did that to the males eventually if they lived long enough too, but it's just, it's not necessary. And why can't we just say, well, born right the first time? It's God's nature that he created us on, supposedly, so why do we have to turn against it by doing this? Like the Quran says, verily you have not created anything in vain. 391, something like that.